Oops, don't need. Wait. What's the matter, baby girl? Hey guys, let me put the chat window up, Jesus. I'm not paying any attention. I'm just sharing out to groups, so let me see here. I don't really want to write a post, just sharing it. Oh, come on. Alright, I don't see, I hope I'm broadcasting correctly. I'm trying to share this out to groups. I can't tell if I'm doing this right. Oh, nice bed head. Look at that. How are you guys? Hey, Lynn Graham. Okay, cool. So it is going out. I'm seeing chat coming in now. So hopefully I'm broadcasting correctly. I'm trying to share this out to a couple of places. I'm here to do charmings if anybody's interested. I'm hoping that some of my Patreon subscribers come in because I need to get them their charmings for the month of November. And so this is the last day for November. So I'm seeing who shows up. How are you guys? How was your guys' holiday? It was good. Hey Kelly, how are you? Are you at work, Kelly? Because I don't think you've gotten your November charming, dear. Hey Karen, how are you, dear? Let's go there, just for the heck of it. And we'll leave that. You're home now. Did you want to get your November charming? We can do it for you if you want. For Patreon, for your subscription with Patreon. It's up to you. You have to decide though. Past life for you, Kelly? Okay. I feel like it's been a blur too. Like yesterday I did next to nothing. I was just kind of, I mean, I went out with some people that I know to have dinner and that was good, but it's like I really didn't accomplish much yesterday. Today was good. I've been trying to get caught up to the end of the month, trying to get things done, get everything ready for the new month starting. Plus, I want to do the yearly horoscopes for everybody. So I'm going to start those in the early part of December. Oh, yours was in October. I didn't know Canada celebrated in October. That's interesting. All right, so let's do Kelly's past life charming. Let me get my list out, and hopefully maybe some of the other Patreon subscribers will show up. If anybody wants to purchase a charming, you can certainly do so. Let me pull that link for everybody and post it in the chat. If you want to use it, you can. Let me find it. Give me one moment. Oh, shoot. Where is it? I swear I kind of try and prepare everything, and then I realize that there's something I forgot always. It's like without fail. Without fail. You think you're on top of it, you get your cameras ready, and then boom, you forget the link. You know how it goes. Alright, Control C. So this link that I'm putting into the chat is the Engelgeist Linktree link. It has all of the social media stuff. It has my YouTube channel on there. It also has my PayPal link. If you want to purchase a charming tonight, you can certainly do so. You're more than welcome to watch and see some of the other charmings that go on and make a decision if it's something that works for you. You can have, you know, a certain subject charmed if you want and looked at, so to speak. We're going to do one of my Patreon subscribers, Kelly, who subscribes on my Patreon channel. And she gets a free one because she's at the highest level of subscription over there. So every month they are entitled to one on any Sunday that I host Charm Nights. So we're going to do hers right now. She's asked for a past life reading. So we're going to look at what comes out. I have some new charms, but I don't want to add them into the bowl just yet because I got to shoot a video with them. But they're 3 new Indian deities. They're kind of cool. Kali's in here. She's going to represent like rage and anger, feminine power, that kind of thing. I can't remember who this is. I have to think about that for a minute. But I'm not sure. And then this is Lakshmi, I believe. So, and Lakshmi is also an Indian deity. So lots of feminine presence coming. They'll be added to the charm box soon once I shoot a charm haul video. And then this is the newest one that I got at a Michael's Crafts. It's a donut, and this is to represent the sweetness of life and also decadence. I kind of felt like this was, when I saw this, I was like, ooh, this is like indulgence. Like when this comes up in somebody's charming, this is about like having a little bit of the forbidden fruit, so to speak, if you catch my drift. So we'll be adding those at some point once I get around to shooting the video, but I'm trying to get everything done for the end of the month. So we won't see those ladies. They're kind of hanging out on the desk. They know where they're going, but their energy is kind of realigning so that they can blend with all the other charms. So I'm kind of getting used to them. They're getting used to me. We have conversations. They tell me what they're about, who they are, and what they want to represent when they go in the box, and they'll be coming out in future charmings. So that'll be coming soon. I also want to get like maybe 1 or 2 more charms before I shoot the video, so it's substantial enough that it's interesting for people to watch. All right, so my dog is bothering me right now. I don't know why. Okay, hey Coastal Man, how are you? Hey, oh, Marita's here, cool, perfect. Stacy, I'm only doing paid readings tonight. Stacy Lara, I see your request, but I'm only doing paid readings. If you want to use the Linktree link, you can certainly do so. Send over $25, you can get a charming tonight. But right now I'm doing, for those that are coming in from my Patreon page, because this is the last Sunday of the month, so they'll be showing up for those. All right, so I'm going to do Kelly first, then Marita, and then if anybody purchases, I'll do them. So I'm going to switch cameras really quick, and hopefully my signal holds, guys, because I'm back on the old streaming platform because the new one doesn't really work quite so well. So I can't like do this thing. So let's look and see what is Kelly in the middle. Let's pass that. Well, this is a stark reading. Let's see here. We've got an A and we've got a Y. Yay or I. Oh, were you a pirate, Kelly? No, I'm just kidding. So we've got a number 5. I don't really know if I like this for a past life reading. This is really minimalistic. Let me see here. 1 second. Dwell upon the good things and all good things come to you. Wisdom. A wonderful journey is ahead. This is almost scraped off. Everything is flipped upside down. What is going on here? Even the healing charm is upside down. The clarity of the third eye is upside down. I'm gonna redo this because I don't feel like all right. More to the point, Kelly. Oh, and I don't have the chat box up. I feel like you're blocked, dear. Like, with all of these flipped over like this, I feel like, I mean, I'm going to redo it. I want to put them back in and re-sift for them. But I want to talk about, is there something that feels blocked, sluggish, not working for you, just in your natural energy or state? Are you feeling like a lack of inspiration or kind of not feeling as keen as you normally would? Because I feel like this feels to me like I've never had something where it came out so stark, right? And then also on top of that, everything is flipped over, like onto its face side down. Like it's almost like, don't look at me, is kind of what I feel like it's saying. Like, don't look over here, leave me alone. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So I'm wondering if there's something going on for you where you're feeling a little off. It's 2020, she says. She says it's 2020. Oh my God. So one of the dogs just farted. Oh, that stinks. All right, so it is 2020 and my dog's adding to this poor reading. So I'm gonna toss these back in and we're gonna try again. So just shake your aura a little bit, fluff it up for me, Kelly, and let me in there. Let's see what happens. Let's get some past-life information. Not feeling blocked, and maybe it's me, I don't know. I just didn't feel like that wanted to be read. Who knows? Faith. Oh, this came back out. Dwell on all the good things and the good things will come to you. Interesting. This time it's upright. And then this says, I can't even remember what this says. When you are grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. And these are getting so scraped up I can't even read them anymore. I feel like, it's funny, I feel like this is a life as a female. I don't know why. I also feel like you might have been some sort of higher up female. I think this has to do with the dream catcher and the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this, and it's weird, I know, don't blame me for this, but it kind of feels like it could be Puritan or sort of pilgrim-ish. Like, I think it's the Queen of Pentacles and this Indian charm here are making me feel like it might have been that period where it was during the time of sort of when those things were being settled. There's also this faith aspect. This faith charm was sitting like this over everything. To me, I'm almost feeling like you were maybe bringing faith to people, like in the indigenous people in this life. I'm also seeing this sort of Three of Cups kind of also as sort of a similar to like a Thanksgiving feast where maybe you came together with other people and you were trying to do it for the betterment of their life. And I feel like you were prominent, hence this Queen of Pentacles energy. That's all of this dwell on the good things, and when you focus on, when you're grateful for what you have, good things will come to you. It's like this was sort of your focus, this and your faith in this lifetime, and you were very clear about communicating that. That's the throat chakra down here. But I also feel like you were a prominent female. Like, I don't know if you were married to somebody that was important in the scheme of things, but you had your own sort of sense of leadership, your own voice, definitely with this clear throat chakra, with the throat chakra here. And I kind of feel like you might have been some sort of, like, I don't know if you were, I kind of feel like you might have also, like maybe you were a missionary of some sort? Let me look at this. What is this? The Emperor. Emperor is Aries energy. I kind of feel like this may have been your husband. Like, I'm not so sure that your husband didn't die. That's why it's flipped over, and like you were left to rule. And there was some sort of, I feel like in this lifetime, there was some sort of indigenous people or some sort of group of people that you were trying to help through conversion to your way of thinking. You were trying to teach them. And it's not that they needed your help, but it was like sort of the kindness, or what I kind of felt like you could give them. This Three of Cups to me speaks, this says who knows upside down, just so that you guys know. I'm not sure what this is all about. But the kindness that I feel like is in this Three of Cups was also generating from you. Like, there's a generousness, there's a loving nature from the Queen of Pentacles, but also the Three of Cups is celebratory and about coming together in celebration. And so when I feel like what you were trying to sort of do was help others through the teaching of them about sort of your faith, being positive, staying like open-minded, that sort of a thing. But I feel like you were put into this position due to maybe the passing of your husband. This is why this is flipped over, but he was indeed a powerful sort of man. But you were good at what you did. Like this communication stone down here says to me that you were able to really express yourself. You were able to really make like a positive change or difference in people's lives. I feel like in some ways you were very kind and like not powerful from the sense of like, I feel like you had a power to you that people appreciated. It wasn't like you were trying to be anybody's leader or anything like that, but there was a nurturing and a kindness to you that people appreciated, and they sort of gravitated towards, and they sort of showed respect to. Does that make sense? It was originally due to the fact that it was maybe who your husband was, but I think somewhere in all of that, you started to communicate maybe when you were left with almost like the throne or the role, the responsibility. I don't know if it was an actual throne, right? But I feel like it was, I almost feel like I don't know if you were a wife of a conquistador, somebody, and I feel like you were in a foreign land. Like, that's why I'm thinking maybe a conquistador or something, where you might have traveled with him via boat to wherever this was, and you were in a foreign land, and you were helping to help the indigenous people of that land and you were trying to convert them also to your ways of being, your ways of thinking, that sort of thing. But it was appreciated. I don't know the history of the conquistadors to know if they were as kind as you were. Does that make sense? The Emperor to me almost feels like he might have been a bit harder than you. Your husband might have been a bit firmer, a little bit higher expectations, a little bit harder edge, where you led with a more of a faith-based, kindness-based, positive attitude, and it was more celebratory. And I kind of get the feeling that you actually did more than he could accomplish in your pursuit of this. Like, it's a definite role of sort of leadership that I want to say, like, maybe women at this time didn't necessarily step into, and you did. And in doing so, you were able to kind of enact positive change, not only for maybe yourself, but for those that you were trying to help. And you were appreciated for that. Hi, Ivana, how are you? Hey, New Moon in Cancer, dear, how are you? So that's kind of what I see for this life. What I would say would carry over is sort of wherever that giving nature, or wherever you find yourself giving to others. I think that it stems from this period. If you find yourself sort of maybe bestowing life advice, kindness, lifting people up, I feel like that's this energy. Like, you might have a really good skill at this, because it kind of stems from the energy of this lifetime. Um, and it is about sort of keeping that faith and keeping that focus on what is positive, what is working, what is right. And communicating that in a really clear and concise sort of way that actually uplifts others and potentially helps to transform them or, help them to reach greater heights. Hey, Marge Smith, how are you, dear? So that was Kelly's. Marita's here. Gotta mark off my Patreon subscribers so I know who's here and who's done what. So I hope that makes sense, Kelly. $25, Noon. There's also this funny sensation that I'm getting as I'm looking at this that I'm not so sure that there wasn't some sort of altercation that took your husband away and you still didn't blame like if there was some sort of fight amongst sort of something about this faith and this keeping this sort of, I don't know, like there's a forgiveness thing I feel like is going on in here that you kind of maintain too, which also kept you sort of in the good graces of the public eye. You're welcome, Kelly. Where others would have maybe blamed sort of and dwelled in upset or anger, you didn't when you lost your husband, if that makes sense. You actually stepped into a bigger role, you took on more responsibility, you stayed in this sort of space of maybe faith and forgiveness, and I don't know if I want to say prophesize, but you and it has the vibe of like almost like how a missionary would go and convert people religiously, but I don't know that it is about, I mean, it is about religion a little bit because that faith stone there, but it's also about like a way of thinking, a way of being, about compassion and kindness too. All right, I'm going to clear the board. Did you get a picture of this, Kelly? Do you need one? Are you okay? And Marita, you'll be up next. Oh, thanks, Jenny. I appreciate it. Okay, Marita, I'm going to clear the board because I think Kelly saw this. I think she gets it. Oh, she got it. Okay, cool. All right, Marita, what do you want your charting to be on? Give me a subject, please. Thank you, Kelly. She says he is good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Marita, on allowing the flow. All right, let's see what comes out. Oh, there goes that who knows time. Hold on, what did it land on? It says, oh please. Let's not. Okay, so this N, D, T, and N. We've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are about change. I am going to keep this oh please up here for a minute just in case it works into the reading because it kind of bounced out. That doesn't happen very often. This says on, but it also, I know that these are like yes, no dice, so this would be a no, it wouldn't be on, but it looks like on to me from where I'm looking at it. So let me just kind of look at all this. Allowing the flow. Okay, I'm gonna say this right out of the gate. When we have this sort of allowance of flow, right, I see where the flow would be and where we're not allowing it, because like the most powerful charms that we have up here, I mean there's quite a few powerful charms. We've got green Tara, we have the Om symbol, which is like sort of a sense of peace. We also have love here, right? All of these are flipped upright. But then we have these here, which is like the unicorn, which is definitely our personal magic and power. We have the lizard, which is the dreaming. And we also have our good friend Ganesh here. He's not only upside down, but he's also face down. So is the unicorn. So this to me speaks to like maybe similar to how all of those other charms were sort of flipped over, where we maybe have been blocked. If we're feeling that block or feeling sort of like we can't get into that flow, this would sort of reflect that a little bit. What I do want to say is when the charms show up, that means that the energy is available and around us. Whether we're accessing or not is a whole nother question, right? So when we flip this over, boom, we have like this beautiful unicorn kind of sitting right in sort of the higher mind, present time space, right? And then we also have Ganesh and the lizard, which work together to kind of visualize and see it and happen. And Ganesh kind of expands it. He's very benefic and wonderful. He's sort of, to me, he represents sort of the planet of Jupiter and abundance and good luck and joy and all of that. So the fact that you have these three on the board is a good thing. That's what I feel like. When I look to this side over here, this feels a little bit more about maybe what you need to do. When we have love and we also have Om here, this is that sense of peace, feeling settled, feeling in this state of love. I like that these are so close together. This feels like how we this might be the answer to getting into the flow. This actually might be an on and not a no, right? In the sense of how do we turn the flow on? Because I'm seeing that more like on to me. It doesn't even when I turn it this way, like that looks like a no, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like it's supposed to read as on. So we've got that going on there. I like that, and I also like that it's on this dark blue, which takes me to this place of certainty. This is what I would call certainty blue. So being certain in that love, being sort of settled in that peace, all of that is going to kind of bring you to that state of maybe being serene enough that we can kind of reopen our connection with these three aspects of ourself or our energy, because they're there. We have them. They're just kind of like a little bit on hold for some reason. So over here, green Tara, always like loving, sort of benefic goddess energy, right? I love that she's seated straight upright and also towards the future. And then we have the football helmet, which speaks to the idea of playing the game or doing things correct, getting in there, doing the work, working hard, being protected. These are all things that I would associate with the football helmet. So when I'm looking at these two things, I also like that there's a nice masculine-feminine balance going on here. Feminine in the sense that Green Tara obviously is a goddess deity, but she's also powerful in that sense. So she has that masculine aspect to her. The football helmet also speaks to like that idea of protection, defense, action being taken in the playing of the game or the living of life. So I like that too. These two going forward into like sort of say the future to me also speak to like getting in the flow. Green Tara to me also feels more about like almost in a weird way, like flow mastery. What I mean by that is like, in my mind, she's such a sort of like capable deity, and she's so sort of centered and at peace that it almost feels like we get to not only play the game, or this is what I feel like I should say, not only play the game, but we get to sort of determine which way the game goes. From, you know, within that more, I always associate the feminine with the more subtle or psychic, subconscious, deeper awareness, emotional awareness, that sort of thing. So from that, we kind of get to determine the steps that we take or the game that we play, the moves that we make as we move forward. So we have the number 1 die and the number 3 die. I'm trying to figure out where these fit into all of this. 1 and 3 on black. I feel like the one hit that I'm getting is this about, this to me is this dice feels like this is about the focus of the self. Like I feel like this is about pulling our attention or our awareness on ourself. Again, there's that word on and the self. And I think that this is a good thing. Like if there is a place where we can bring things back into ourselves. Like I almost want to say, and I don't know what's going on with you right now, Marita, but I almost want to say that are we more worried about others than we are ourselves right now? Are we more worried about, are we not in the flow and we're worried about it affecting others, not as much as it may be affecting us? Does that make sense? In the sense that to me, I feel like we might need to bring our attentions back to ourself, is what I'm getting from this die. And I feel like when we do that, we settle into this love or this peace, and then we move forward into the capacity of, you know, turning ourselves back on into the flow or whatever. And then that's when the magic of Green Tara sets in, that capability that she sort of represents kind of kicks in for us. We get to kind of see the game, so to speak, play the game, also sort of determine how the flow happens even. That's what I feel like with Green Tara. I feel like Green Tara is even like, we have players in the game and then we have the manager of the team, right? And that's Green Tara to me. And I feel like when we get to this state of Green Tara and we're playing, we're feeling protected, we're in there, we're ready to win, we're excited, we're ready to go. And that's also, I'm feeling that from the football helmet. I feel like then we can bring in the other concerns or the other, you know, we have the 1 here, but then it becomes the 3. Like maybe there's, you know, and I'm just using this as an example, maybe it's Rose or it's the cats or whatever it is we're worried about, if it's family members, whatever it is that we might be trying to achieve for others or in an effort for others where it's like we're doing it for them and not necessarily really for ourselves. That might be why it's not kind of connecting, because the thing that I want to say about this is you have these 3 really kind of wonderful, magical, creative charms here that want to be involved or that can be involved once you sort of bring it back to you. Does that make sense? I don't know what you've been focused on lately. If you've been focused on like maybe the assisting of others, maybe through the school, maybe that might be some of it too, is that if you're finding yourself focusing maybe more on the students, that might be something that's also kind of pushing you out of the flow. When in all actuality, I will say this, I feel like maybe you might, the fact that these three show up says to me that the flow is still really around you. And so it's funny that you're asking about accessing it, because it's like kind of creeping around, like wanting to be a part of. So I would say the question where my brain goes with all of this as I'm looking at all of this is, what does Marita need right now would be sort of the main focus, because this is kind of in the center of the board, this singular black die. And to me, the darkness of the blackness brings us back to this sort of, and the number one brings us back to the focus of the self, right? And the blackness brings us back to like the deepest core of who we are, right? So we want to go deep into the, say, the subconscious, or what does Marita need right now? If we're concentrating on other people, and the other thing I will say too, this is down in the subconscious area, to me, the peace and the love, both of these being up there speaks to, this is kind of what you are about, who you really truly are, who you've always sort of been. And so getting back to those original aspects of yourself, I'm not saying that you're away from them, but I think that these two together make a powerful combination that also help to bring you and center you back into who you are, what you need. Those should be the focuses right now. Yes, I know that you're, obviously responsible to others for a lot of different things, but I think bringing it back to you gets you kind of back on, tuned back in, so to speak. You can bring that stuff back in. I feel like this 3 dice speaks to the idea of, also, threes for me are the balance of mind, body, and spirit, right? And bringing those 3 in conjunction. But see, I feel like they are in conjunction because you have this sort of love and peace thing going on down here. So it's not about that. I almost get the feeling that this is more about bringing back in the things that maybe were concerning you that you couldn't accomplish for others. Or does that make sense, Marita? Is there, because I almost feel like the flow might feel like you're failing others, when in all actuality, I don't think that you are, but you might think that you are. That's kind of what I'm feeling when I'm looking at these charms, is that it's like you have all the love and omness, this love and spirituality almost for everybody else, but I want you to give some of it to yourself. You're welcome, Rita. You're totally welcome. Thank you for coming in and getting it done. More the energy of receiving than forcing, learning to well, that's also the 5 too, right? Would be, this is about change, right? And sort of shifting our focus. And so I think the focus being on you is only going to help you to kind of reconnect with these magical, wonderful, sort of benefic, expansive kind of charms that are around you, that are part of you, that are available to you. You've just kind of maybe gotten sidetracked by responsibilities, by the needs of others, which that ties into sort of this love charm of wanting to deliver that for others, wanting to sort of care for others and take care of them. But if then you're slipping out of, what's the word? Feeling as though you're slipping out of the flow because you're not able to accomplish that for yourself, for them, is it really worth it, kind of thing. Oh, I love you too, Marita. Thank you. And I really love that this love charm and the Om are together down here, kind of in the center, in the present moment, sort of in the subconscious realm, but also just kind of affecting all of this. Yes, easy for me to take on responsibility. Exactly. And I think that when you're good and when you accomplish stuff for other people, it makes you feel good, because this lights up to me. I feel like this is sort of, who doesn't like doing something good for another person? It makes us feel wonderful, right? It makes us feel like we're serving a higher purpose, a higher calling, and I certainly can understand and relate to that. And I think that you can, continue to do those things for others, but right now it's about maybe doing what it is that you need for you. Do you, boo? Hey Lisa, how are you, dear? Do you want to get your charming tonight, or did you want to do the chakra thing? I thought you were going to message me yesterday in the afternoon for the chakras. Because you can still do that if you want to do that in place of the awesome, Rita. In place of the charming, or you can do your charming tonight, whichever you want to do, Lisa. If we do the chakra thing, we can do that maybe tomorrow. Because it's still November. So I can do it maybe after the broadcast. I have to get all of the Patreon videos up tomorrow. Oh, that's fine, Lisa. I kind of thought so too, and it's okay because I kind of sloughed out all day. I didn't do anything yesterday, but I was waiting for you to message, and then when I didn't hear from you, I was like, okay, I'm just going to relax. But I've been kind of scrambling, trying to get everything done so that I'm ready for the end of the month and the beginning of the new month. Oh, and by the way, you guys, just as a little reminder, tonight's, I'm off. I don't know why I've been off. Like this morning, hold on, I gotta switch cameras. This morning I woke up and I literally, this is so bad. I thought it was Tuesday. It's Sunday. And I was sure it was a Tuesday. I had thought like for sure it was Tuesday, and I had no clue that it was Sunday. So when I'm doing the broadcast for tomorrow, right, the forecast, I was filming it and I was thinking it was Sunday, and I was looking at the calendar and I was like, wait, Sunday's already written in. What the heck? What day is it? And I didn't realize it was only Tuesday. I was all super off this morning. So I had to do, that's what I'm going to say. Tomorrow, because I'm off a day or two. I don't know why. I'm just feel a little bit out of whack. But tomorrow is a full moon. I believe in Gemini. So remember that tomorrow's a great day to release anything that you want. That goes on for the next few days. You can even do releasing tonight if you wanted, if you like. And I'm one to say this for anybody that's a noob or that, doesn't know about releasing ceremonies. One, you can always Google it and go with your gut, whatever you trust as far as teachers out there. If you find stuff like on YouTube, there's great like different sort of Wiccan based you could call it rituals or practices that you could learn that way about how to do your own releasing ceremony. I would trust whatever you feel most correct about within your body as to, yes, this information is accurate, yes, this is something that could work for me. It's just a practice, sometimes through ritual or practice. It kind of is actionable steps that helps us to manifest it as we're doing it, right? It focuses our concentration, our intention, our attention, and that's the whole point of conducting the actual process of it, right? So you can do that. I'm also sometimes a lazy witch or a lazy psychic, right? And that's fine. I believe that the spirit world's on my side, and I believe that everything is done in divine timing. That's just how I have to look at the world, even the crazy shit, or else I'll go crazy, right? So what I tend to do is I tend to reflect upon what it is I want to let go of, and then I'll go out and stand underneath the moon and talk to the moon and just sort of hand things up to the moon. If you don't have time, maybe you're a busy Betty and you've got shit you need to do. And so you have the next few days to do that in. It doesn't have to be tonight, it doesn't have to be on the actual full moon, although that is the sort of the most potent day. But you do have a couple. I love there's one where you can write your intention on a piece of paper. And some people believe like in Wiccan practice and certain ritual and stuff, and I may screw this up, I'm no authority. I go a lot off of my own intuition. I ask myself internally, is this right for me? And then I might alter it or do something that I feel feels more strong or serves more of a purpose. It's your own personal brand of magic. That's what you want to be accessing, especially when you're watching others like me or anybody else that's broadcasting this information. It's about enhancing what you already know to be true within yourself. That's why I've added some new things to like my forecast and stuff about trusting your own information over anybody else's, because the goal here is to help you guys enhance what you know to be true, or to farm it, find it, and use it right from within you. And any good teacher or healer or whatever you want to call it is going to hopefully approach it from that place. They're not trying to change you, mold you, or make you into a mini them, right? If that's the case, then I would be a little bit leery. The whole idea is each of us bring our own individual energy, our own individual experience, our own individual whatever to anything that we do, and that's what makes it magical. So we want to find that within. It's great to use things as parameters. There's certain like guideposts or rules, like what the planets represent, what tarot cards represent, what all of that. But then you can sort of bend those rules and you can find what individually works for you. And that's the beauty of performing ceremony or ritual. Ritual is not about like taking a virgin to a volcano, although that can be a party and a lot of fun. But, you know, it can just be about a moment where you take for yourself to spend time with yourself, connecting to your higher self, connecting to a higher purpose, yearning for a stronger, like higher desire, right? Whatever that may be. Whatever we want to let go of that we don't want to take with us into 2021, now would be the time. So, as a lazy psychic, you know, sometimes I will just, you know, reflect on these things, meditate on them, and then go, okay, I need help with this, or I need you to move this out, and I'll give it to my guides, or I'll give it to my higher self. Sometimes I've been switching more a lot. I've got to say this, and this, I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent, because this is supposed to be a charming video, but I've been focused more on trying to bring my higher self into stuff. That's really where my relationship is. We have to remember to invite our guides in for their assistance, right? And I forget to do that sometimes. But I also think that some of that's okay. And this is like my own information. You don't have to trust this. This is what I feel like I'm learning or toying with. As much as we focus on our guides, and guides are great. They're there to help us for that very reason. There's also this whole aspect of our soul and like the connection to that and the knowledge that is contained in that. And that's what I'm sort of trying to pursue is kind of, you know, I do invite my guides in, I do sort of hand things over to the moon, but I also sort of reflect upon a lot more lately and kind of try and have a conversation with my higher self and my own intuition and bring that in and allow that to make the answers for me. Does that make sense? So, but this is the time to do that. It's a really cool opportunity. It's also at the month's end, which is beautiful because like as the door of the month closes, boom, we have this big old like garbage chute of a full moon form. We can dump stuff down if we want. And I know that sounds a little disparaging, but I think that it's perfectly timed and use it to your advantage. Worst case scenario, this is how I see it. Worst case scenario, so your neighbors see you barefoot standing out in the rain below the moon saying, take this away from me, and they think, okay, she's lost it. But the truth is you've actually just communed with nature and sent some sort of, you know, vibrational message out to the universe that you want something better for yourself. And you're willing to connect to it or focus towards it. And that is powerful stuff just in and of itself, right? So I think that can like set off a chain of events that can be wonderful for us. Hey Trisha, how are you? Welcome to YouTube and thank you for watching my show or my video and listening to me rant. I'm not ranting really, I'm just going off on something about the full moon. But welcome to the channel. For those of you that can't see Trisha, I'm also broadcasting to YouTube, and so she's over there, and she just commented, and she says, I'm new to this, I might give it a go. So, but yeah, exactly. Marita is also a teacher, just so you know, and Marita's over there saying on Facebook, for those of you watching on YouTube, yes, get your creativity involved. And that's what makes, I feel like, personally, like the power of ceremony or the power of ritual, whatever you want to call it, practice, if ritual's too like hoodoo, voodoo, weird for you, or ceremony is too formal for you, I say practice, because it kind of gives us that room to move within, and it also allows us, the power in the practice, right, is what we bring to it. Where our attention is, our intention, our own personality, our own vibration, all of that. And that's our personal magic. And that's what we want to be accessing through watching these videos and readings and all of that sort of stuff, is to kind of enhance what we already sort of have within us. That's sort of where I'm at. So, yeah. So now's the time to do it if you want. I believe it's in Gemini, which is also a very it's air-based, ethereal, thinking, the other duality of the horoscope. So I think it's a good moon to let go of stuff. Oh yes, how can I get my highest self, my intuition? Hold on, let me see, I can't read this, I gotta slide it over. My highest self, my intuition to help make the answers, just like you said. Thank you. Well, that's the kind of what I've been trying to focus on is I kind of forget, I always turn everything over to my guides, over to my guides, and I'm like, wait a second, I have a soul. And what I've started to realize is what I think is what happens in my readings is that's my soul coming through. I've been training with this medium in Britain online via Zoom, and she's taught us about a little bit about this. And she has said to me, or not to me directly, but in class about how, in mediumship is when the soul breaks free and sort of rises and starts to communicate with the higher realms. And I've realized that, oh wait, when I'm doing my daily forecast, some of the information that I'm kind of coming through, because what you guys, I don't know if you know this or do or don't or whatever, but I usually film the daily forecast first thing in the morning. I make coffee, 1 cup of coffee, and then I come to the computer and I do it right after sleep because I want to do it before I've been awake for too long and kind of sucked into anything. I want to do it from being fresh, having come in out of sleep. So sometimes I'll be a little bit like flighty, but I feel like I'm still in that, I don't know if this sounds crazy, but I'm still in that place of being a little bit connected to a different realm or a different vibration, a different, the dream state or whatever. I'm still a little bit open and out there, and stuff just kind of drops in as I'm looking at the cards and factoring in all. It's the same way that I do when I read charms, is it's just kind of like you open your crown up and kind of see what sort of drops in and what you're feeling. And so that's how I do that. And what I've realized is, or I'm starting to realize is, oh shit, I think that's my soul that makes me do that brings some of these readings through. And so I think that's very cool. And I want to continue to have that dialogue. Does that make sense? I'm not bragging. I'm just realizing that, oh wait, maybe I'm not necessarily channeling something from outside of me. Maybe I'm channeling something that is actually connected to me. That is me. So, we'll see. Laser psychic. So that's my big rant. Sorry to go off on that. Is there any other people? Thank you, Claudette. You're welcome for the explanation. It's kind of long-winded. I'm a bit of a windbag. Did anybody see the video? Just another thing, and then a couple of housekeeping things. Sometimes it's fun just to talk to you guys and not necessarily have to read, but I did put up a new video for the new deck. We had one vote. One person on Patreon voted for the new deck for December. That's called the Line Strider. So that will be showing up in not tomorrow's forecast on the YouTube channel, but the following day. And this deck's a little weird. Check her out. Marita, check this deck out. You might like it too. It's kind of got this interesting vibe to it. It feels a little bit dark to me, but it also feels a bit primal and very almost shamanic in a weird way. But I would love to see your interpretations of this deck, what you think. I don't go through the whole deck, but it gives you a little idea of sort of what's going on with this deck. So that's the one that won because only one person noticed the post on Patreon. So we're going to be pairing that with something for tomorrow's forecast for the 1st of December. That will be happening. All of the Taroscopes are out for the signs for the month of December, so please feel free to watch those on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook business page. I just finished those today. Scorpio went up last because they went first last month because of Scorpio season. What else? The new 2021 Taroscopes will be going up soon. I'm going to start those in the first week of December because those are going to be 12 cards each because it's going to be 1 card per month. So they'll be longer. They'll probably be like maybe hour-long videos for each sign. So I may do one a day for the first 12 days of December so that the signs can kind of figure out, what's going to happen for them in 2021. So that'll be coming up, so keep an eye out for that. Like I said, there will be another charming video or charm haul video once I get maybe 1 or 2 more charms to add to these ladies here, these beautiful ladies that will be going into the charm box. This line strider, it's so sort of surreal and weird. I have it sitting under a piece of tourmaline. I might put it out tonight or tomorrow night under the full moon, the deck. I just have a feeling it's going to take me to weird places. The art, sort of strange. It makes me feel funny inside. You get a different vibe from them, Lorraine? Like, did you like them or not? I like them, I just feel like there's a bit of they're sort of serious and sort of primal. There's something really weirdly primal. I was thinking about maybe throwing like that mystical shaman oracle with them again, which we've worked with that before, but I'm afraid to bring that out because I'm thinking it might get too far out there for me. But I'm sort of not sure which ones I want to bring in to work with these deck yet. The heart? What heart? Oh no, this isn't a heart. It's just a piece of tourmaline. It's black tourmaline. It wards off negativity. Not that I don't want you guys to think that the deck feels negative to me. It doesn't. I think it's a beautiful deck. It just feels primal is the best word that I would describe it. It's very, I don't know. The art just kind of, it gives me a little bit of like a, oh shit, everybody get in line. No lazy psychics around here. Like Alice in the Rabbit Hole. It is. It's a little bit high, like, it's interesting. So we're going to start those in December on the YouTube channel. So that's great and exciting. I also have a mini deck of it. So, you know, it may end up in monthlies at some point. But the new monthly deck has been chosen too, which is the Tarot of the Pagan Cat. So this one on the Patreon channel. If you guys aren't on the Patreon channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a website called patreon.com. You can go there and join the Patreon page and vote in polls on which decks I use each month for the daily forecasts, because I like to switch them up every month so we get to be exposed to different decks, different messages, different images as they blend together. So that's something that that the Patreon subscribers get to do each month to pick. So I put this up with two other decks, and they chose this one for the next. This is the deck we'll be using every month for the next year for the forecast for the monthly tarot scopes. So this will be interesting. I like using mini decks for that because they can fit all the cards in one camera picture. The bigger cards, to do 5 or 6 cards in a bigger picture, it's harder to fit it all into the viewer. So that's why I bought these line striders in mini form, so that we have other decks to choose from and play with in small format. So if that's it, Lisa, you're the only other Patreon subscriber here, so I'm gonna let you'll message me tomorrow about the chakra thing, and we can do the chakra adjustment with the pendulums for you tomorrow. I'm happy to do that in lieu of your charming. And then I don't know if there's other Patreon subscribers here, if Marita's still here, but if any of the other Patreon subscribers see this, I do a chakra thing that I would be happy to trade if, like, one month you don't want to do your charming, you can get a what I call it's sort of like a chakra reading, but I do it with pendulums. And so they swing and they show me which way your chakra is spinning and at what speed and whether or not it's wide open or too closed down. Oh, you did? No, it's not just for Patreon peeps. Thank you for speaking up. I didn't get notified. Let me see, 1 second, Laura. I'm sorry. Thank you, I didn't know that you sent a payment. Give me 1 moment. I'm like getting ready to sign off and shit. Oh God. That's weird, usually PayPal notifies me. Wait, is Vicky here too? Wait, I'm confused. I see Laura's, but did Vicky also pay too? Because I have a payment from Vicky. So it looks like I got 2 payments, and I'm not sure, nobody spoke up, or I missed their comments if people have commented. Vicky, are you here watching? Let me clear this board. Is Vicky, are you here? It looks like I got a payment today right after Laura's from Vicky, and so, but I feel like Vicky's not on Facebook. So I don't know that Vicky would be watching unless Vicky's watching from YouTube, maybe? I'm confused. All right, Laura, what subject do you want your charming to be on? And if Vicky, if you are here, please speak up. Because if you just paid me for a charming, I want to do it. I know that I have to get a reading to her. Oh, that's another thing I should announce too. Maybe that's a good thing that that payment did come through. One other thing that we're doing too that Vicky showed me that we could do, because Vicky's somebody that is not normally on Facebook. She just emailed me, paid me for a reading, and had me videotape the reading and send it to her. Like, so I just videotaped it with my charming camera. So that's an option for you guys too, where it doesn't have to be live. You guys can, I've never done it that way. It was kind of different, but Vicky responded. I asked her, I said, if I do it this way, you have to give me feedback, because I've never really just emailed a full reading to somebody without being able to interact with them and talk to them to get affirmation, because it feels like you're just kind of like pulling in the dark, so to speak, which I don't mind. It just doesn't, I like the connection with the reader, or with the sitter, you know, to read them and get the yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So we did it that way, and it kind of worked out really well, because I just went through it, did it. It was about 45-minute long video, and I emailed it to her, or I sent her a link, and it's on my YouTube channel, but it's private to just her, because she's the only one with the link. And so she was able to watch it, and she loved it, and she was like, "Oh, I can watch it I can watch it over and over again." And she's like, "I'm still taking all the information in," and I thought that was kind of cool. So I had never done that way. So that's also another way that readings can be done. I haven't brought that up yet or really hyped that, but I have to do one for her now that I think about it. She emailed me the other day, and was busy with a house guest and then Thanksgiving. So that's another thing that's available to you guys too. All right, so. She is here. Why don't I see her comments? So she's on YouTube, that's why. Okay. Sorry, you guys. So, Vicky, if you are here, I can see New Moon and Trisha's comments, but I can't see Vicky's for some reason. It might be my restream. So, if somebody can let me know. Yeah, I've never done them that way, New Moon. Like, so, you guys over on Facebook, I'm talking to the people on YouTube right now. New Moon and Cancer and Trisha are talking to me right now. Readings are $25, Trisha, for either a charming. If you're doing a card reading like I'm talking about that I did for Vicky, that was $50. But you get a 45-minute video, or you get me for an hour over the phone if you can hang with that. It's quite a lot. Yeah, I don't see her comments for some reason. That's weird, because I'm seeing all your guys's now. All right, so let me do Laura. And if you guys can see Vicky's comments, if you can tell me what she wants her charming to be on, I'd be happy to do it for her. So Laura, can you let me know? General life. Okay, I see that up there. Perfect. All right, so for Laura. Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on in your general life, Laura. All right, so we have a T. One T that was stuck to my hand and didn't even want to hit the board, really. T, number one, self-focus. Boom. Number one is about the self, for sure. Let me look at this. There's a lot going on in here. Sorry, my dog's snoring quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to say this right out of the gate. There's a kind of a fair amount of male energy going on. We have Jesus. We have this guy laying here. We also have the ball player. That's the first thing that draws out my attention, is like sort of this trifecta of men. And I'm not saying that that's three separate men. It could just be like, say, a particular male that maybe is kind of moving towards the past, or maybe we're reaching a ending with this male. You also have the lovers here that are laying together in that lover's embrace. Doesn't mean that the relationship's ending, but I feel like there's a lot of male energy going on over here. Let me look at what is underneath here. This says blessed. Oh my God, who is snoring like that? You sound like Darth Vader on a respirator. All right, so this is blessed. When I do the board, we're going to get a little lesson in charming. When I do the board, I split it into three sections. This being sort of the past, this being the present, and this being the future. And so when I look at this feels like whatever this is going on with this male, it's kind of drifting to the past. So if this is one male or possibly even three males, this could even be three males. This could be like a son, a boyfriend, and a father or something. But if it's whatever it is, we're sort of stepping away from it, if that makes any sense. You do have the 10 of Cups, which is very abundant. The cups are flipping over. They're pouring towards the lovers, which I really like that. Cups represents water, the emotions, that sort of a thing. I feel like, and you also have, this was my old sign for Aquarius, which was supposed to be like the water bearer, or the flow of the water. So again, I feel like both of these are emotions pouring over these two lovers. So I don't know if there's something that's repairing itself or hitting a different level in your relationships, Laura, romantically, but it feels like there's a blessing that's happening for this couple here. So hopefully that is the case for you. Maybe your relationship is reaching new heights. Maybe we're able to leave some of our past influences from older relationships in the past. That might be these three male influences. These could be, say the memories of other relationships that we've had that weren't necessarily working for us. We're finally able to kind of leave them. We're no longer reflecting upon them. Hold on, I'm going to throw my dog out. All right, you're really loud there, bub. Can you wake up? Hey. I just feel like I'm fighting with you. I know you're sleeping, but can you wake up just for a minute? I love you. Yes, I do. Thank you. All right. So, see how quiet it is? There's times, you guys, where I have to actually wake them up because I can't hear the TV. It's awful. All right. I love them, but it's like I live with three 90-year-old men. Okay, so I feel like there's a blessing coming down here. I hope that's the case. I don't know if you've said something about that, but to me, I feel like this is water or emotions pouring down on these two lovers. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. To me, it feels like it's a good thing because usually the 10 of Cups would represent abundance, emotional abundance, good tidings, dreams coming true, that sort of thing. But they are flipped over, so maybe... I want to think that this is something good. So let's just see. Let's look at what this is underneath here. This is the 5 of Pentacles upside down. I feel like this stuff here, we do have the lizard, right? And the lizard is the dreaming. He's usually really a very beneficial charm. I like that he's here. But I feel like something went wrong in the past, and hopefully we're leaving it in the past. The blessed charm being upside down, it's like our hopes were high, things were good, we were hoping to be blessed, and I kind of get a feeling that maybe we weren't. There might have been a loss of a male of some sort. And I also feel like there was an effect on maybe the finances or some sort of hit that was taken financially. This would be in the past, Laura, so I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. I don't like to predict passings, but if somebody passed away, was there a financial hit? I kind of feel like these two are connected, even though this was flipped over. It was like an unseen financial mishap or something that happened. When I look at the present time, right, I feel like there is this opportunity for blessings to be bestowed on a couple. I feel like this is a Reiki healing charm. This is, I think, Shokure, which is the building of the power in Reiki. And when I see this, it's flipped over and it is in the higher mind in the present time space. So it makes me wonder if you kind of believe that you can have, or that you can build the power and take on the benefit, or have the benefit be bestowed, have this sort of good relationship. I feel like you have the clear quartz, which usually represents healing, amplifying energy, clarity, and the key being in here. It sort of feels like, I feel like we're getting back on the right track, or letting go of stuff from the past where we've maybe been wronged, things haven't worked out, mishaps, tragedies, things like that. These are stuff that we're sort of ready to leave, put back in the back. Or put away for the time being. That's what I feel like this is. And then there's this option here of these blessings coming to, say, this relationship. I feel like the key is about opening the doors to that, or the opportunity to that. I feel like it's about building the momentum or the power, the belief that we can connect to that, that we can have that. I think that that can be flipped over and had as we move to the future. We have the rose. The rose to me is a very spiritual symbol. It's also about our own personal beauty, our own personal growth. It can be about feeling about, maybe feeling fragile, yet still maintaining our own protection, being vulnerable at times. With this being flipped over, I wonder sometimes if possibly sorry. So there was a passing but no financial impact. Okay. That's good to know. All right, so I get it now. I didn't know that you were new moon in Cancer, Vicky. All right, perfect. So that makes sense. All right, so let me get back to this reading really quick. So when I'm with this rose, to me, it feels like there might be some sort of vulnerability, or something that's not being acknowledged, or that's not being sort of appreciated. That's the upside downness of the rose. And communication, the dolphin represents communication to me, and the dolphin would be about communication maybe, and this is more in the future time, right? So we're talking about general life. If the communication gets a little bit off or wonky or weird, if we're feeling underappreciated or not necessarily fully noticed or seen for what we have to offer, don't be surprised about that. And part of the reason why I say that is because we have the Hanged Man coming up. He is upright in his positioning to me, but he's also hanging upside down. This tarot coin is representational of the sign of Pisces, and it sort of can be indecision. It can be feeling stuck. But the truth about the Hanged Man, it being major arcana, is usually there's some sort of awareness or understanding that we acquire from being sort of hung up or caught up in that communication that allows us to have a better sense of understanding, a better, like the whole point is that the Hanged Man is kind of hanging there, and at first we're in resistance to it because we feel stuck, we might be frustrated, and it really is affecting us. But when we realize what we need to know about it, we can kind of just reach up and untie and let ourselves out of that scenario. And then this charm says, oh my god, this is that Chinese proverb one. I can't even read this anymore. It's so scraped up. To get through the hardest journey and continue living, we need to take only one step at a time, but we must keep stepping. Chinese proverb. So this is flipped over, and I feel like with the reason why this is flipped over is we can't really step because we're tied up in something. And I feel like we can't communicate our way out of it or get ourselves free of it, and we're also not being honored. What is going on here? All right, I need a little bit of guidance here with this, Laura, so that I can sort this out. Is there a current romantic relationship? Can you give me a yes or no, please? And is it in a good state or bad state? How would you consider it presently? Because I feel like you might not see it as a great state. That's why this is flipped over. Yes, there are kind of two. I love it. Get it. Awesome. All right. So, and maybe, oh, maybe that's the two different flows of water. Like, is one a water sign and one an Aquarius? Oh, girl, if they are, I'll be spooked. Because this would be definitely water symbolism, and this would be my old Aquarian symbol for this charm box. So this could be an Aquarian, and this could be like, you know, a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio that's like trying to vie for your attention. But so if there's kind of two, let me, no, both are Aries? Okay. I kind of feel like if there's kind of two, I feel like if we pick one, I just want to make sure that we're not picking the wrong one. Not that there is any wrong one to pick ultimately. Like I believe that everything that we do serves a purpose and serves a learning, right? But when I'm looking at these charms on the further side of what I would consider to be the more future part of the reading, the hangman feels stuck, the dolphin is upside down, the rose is upside down, like even if there's these two guys that you're romantically entertaining, right, and they both might seem kind of good, because this is sort of the focal point of the reading too, is this lovers couple. It says to me that like there's something that the one you might be leaning toward might, like intuitively you might know that something's off. Does that make sense to you? Because that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting is that this should be, I feel like it wants to be upright or it should be upright, and you can't either fully trust it or want to bring it forward, or it's something like that. And so I kind of get a feeling that the guy that you're kind of maybe more attracted to is maybe the guy that doesn't like necessarily respond exactly how you want him to, or you know, like he's just kind of and then we're attracted to him for sure. And so if we go that route, I kind of get a feeling that we could end up, and this is a could, okay, Laura, so I don't want you to take anything that I'm saying totally by verbatim, right? But these charms here feel like we might feel stuck in something that doesn't feel right once we're in it. Like if you're having fun with both of these guys and enjoying both of them, I would say almost even maybe continue to do so, but I don't know that that's the right answer either, because all of these three male energies back here also speak to there was maybe a time where this got messy in the past, or multiple, I don't know. There's a lot of men in this board, girl. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. A lot of men. And the hanged man. Like, Jesus. I wish I had your problems, Laura. So, I also feel like I gotta say this too. With this down like this, and then we have this little chip of clear quartz, but the termination of it is pointed downwards. And I don't kind of like that in some weird way. Like I feel like all of this needs to go, right? Or we need to get, like it feels like the flow of these coins or these charms are going this way. Do you see that? Even the water pouring out of the cups, or the water, it all seems to be going down and being channeled into this place of clarity, which we want. But I kind of get this feeling that if we choose the guy that we think is the guy that's more appealing, he might be the guy that we might get stuck in something that isn't quite as rewarding as we thought it was going to be. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this. T is your dad's initial. It's choosing the love of my life over the safer option. And right now, the safer option seems great, but I know it'll be tough. Aha. Let me ask you this. Is the love of your life a little bit dodgy? Like, is he the guy that I think might turn out to be the one that maybe doesn't necessarily honor your beauty, your grace? He may not communicate all that well. The only other way that I could read this or I could see this is that even in the future you might still be entertaining both of these guys, and that's this hanged man energy of feeling stuck and not knowing which step to take, which is this Chinese proverb of keep taking the steps, and not knowing which direction to go. Yes, his picture is under dodgy in the dictionary. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to say this. My gut is telling me that something is going to go wrong if you pick him, dear. And I don't want to tell you to pick any one or the other. You have to trust your own intuition on this one. But my feeling is when I'm looking at these cards, or these charms, I feel like these two kind of together just feel like the communication goes off, like we're not being revered for the beauty that we are, like we're not being appreciated in the way that we need. That's my feeling with these. And then the hangman makes me feel like we might be stuck. And hangman, like I said, is associated with Pisces, which is a very intuitive symbol, like sign, and also very emotional. So the feeling of being stuck would also create those emotions that are associated with Pisces, also the intuitions that were associated with Pisces. There's already something that's telling you somewhere that it's not right. These two symbols here, these two charms here are letting me know that, like, you know, her clarity, her healing is kind of pointed downward. It's not really like feeding this, it's sort of pulling it down. And this, her ability to pull her power together around this situation is hard for her right now in her higher mind, right? To believe that this is all. And I also think that there's something that's going on in the past, mishaps of the past. I'm talking about maybe potentially previous relationships, losses that you suffered, things that have gone on in the past are also kind of either reminiscent of what you've got with this love of your life or something. There's some sort of connection, because this hubbub in these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charms are feeling like connected to all of this. And I feel like this key sits here because it's like when we open the door, when we make the choice, when we unlock whichever door, if it's going to be bachelor number 1 or bachelor number 2, like we open that door, it's like there's kind of no turning back, you know, like that's the sort of the importance of this decision. My suggestion, and this is more of an advice thing than a read, is that I would be really careful, because if you feel as though this man is the love of your life, I'd be really careful and communicate with him now about anything that might be bothersome to you or off, because you're already aware of where it's off. It's already shown itself to you in different ways, and so if you start to communicate now and the dolphin starts to flip upside down like it is here in the future, you know that's your man, that's the one that's gonna hang you up. It's gonna be the one that's gonna, like, I don't want to say screw you up, but like you're gonna feel stuck. So that's my feeling, dear. But ultimately, the decision is yours, right? And trust your own intuition, your own intelligence, your own emotions. Know that there's also too, this 10 of Cups is like that energy of like wishes or dreams fulfilled, right? It is tilted over, which to me is a little bit, I feel like if we walk away, we give up on that dream, right? But also the fact that this is flipped over gives me a little bit of a fear that, like, did that dream get toppled over, right? Is that dream truly possible with this gentleman in the state that he may be in? You're welcome, Laura. Thank you for buying a charming. You're always really great about that. I really appreciate it. I'm actually considering going and getting a real job because I'm not making the money I need. So every charming helps. I really appreciate it. All right, so I am going to clear this board off. Do you need to take a picture of it, Laura? And Vicky New Moon, Miss Vicky New Moon, you are up next. I didn't even realize that that was you. I'm sorry. That is so funny. Oh, Trisha, so the link is, do I have it here? There you go, dear. It's in there. Awesome, thank you, Laura. All right, Vicky, what do you want your charming or new moon? Maybe I need to keep quiet and not use your real name. I don't know what you'd prefer. Which would you like your charming to be on? What subject? Did you still want me to do the card reading for you that you emailed me about also? I have the email and I've read it. I just haven't responded because I've been kind of sidetracked trying to get everything together for December 1st. And then I was going to reach out to you. Oh my God, I can see the speaker, you know, that the bars on the speaker as I speak, right? But when I'm quiet and the dog snores, I can see the bars rising. Even when he snores, they go up. Oh, it's so funny. How can I get to my highest self, my intuition that helps make better decisions for my present moment each day? All right, let's see how we can come up with that. One moment. All right, so we've got the O and the I. Oi. It's a number 2. Twos, to me, are about, and I say this a lot in my tarot readings too, they're about deepening of relationships, right, between us and sometimes another person, but a lot of times they can also represent, like the Two of Swords or the Two of Cups can represent our deepening relationship with ourselves. And when you ask this question about how can I get to my highest self, my intuition that helps make better decisions for my present moment, I like that you get a 2 because this is about that communion. This is about coming together your mental egoic mind, right? That aspect of self with the higher self, right? Which I was kind of talking about earlier. So I like that we have this here because that is definitely that energy of bringing that about. So that's the numerological sort of portion of this. Now, I love that first thing that I notice is we have the ring. This is the black heart ring. That doesn't necessarily matter to me so much that it's the black heart. To me, it's about the fact that it is representational of a heart. In lightness, in white, in the color white is usually associated with purity. I also believe black can be just as pure, right? Because it's the depth of the darkness, right? This doesn't necessarily signify a darkness. To me, it's more about the symbolism of the heart and the ring. So it's like a union also that we see here reflected in the 2. Now, what I kind of feel like when you're asking, how do I do this? There's 2 chakra stones that show up right out of the gate. One is the third eye or your 6th chakra behind your brow. This is about intuitive clarity and having access to that. Both of these chakras are upright, which I like that. The other is the 3rd, which is our personal power system, or right above our, like kind of in our, it's below the heart, but it's above the belly button. So it's right in our sort of higher belly area. This is where we manifest our connection to kind of the world, where we manage our power from, and sort of a very, how do I want to say, like visceral or physical chakra is kind of the way that I see it. And its color is normally yellow. The color of the third eye is usually, I think, indigo, right? Like a purpley color. So anyways, let's look at this for a minute. I feel like there's a struggle. We have the boxing glove next to the sixth chakra, right? And then we have the ball player next to the third chakra. And what I feel like the ball player is about playing the game. But notice, like when I hold him up, I'll show him to you. He's got all of this gear on, like this protective gear. Do you see that? Like he's got the glove, the mask, all of that sort of stuff. And it's interesting to me that he's here next to the third. Our third is sometimes where we also run power and control trips, right? Like when we're in an argument with somebody, we're usually, not only are we blasting out of our fifth chakra, which is our communication, but we're also running like, we can cord people from our thirds and try and control them from that space. It's where we sort of bring our energy out onto the physical plane. So when we're arguing or fighting, we work from our third. To me, I feel like this ball player feels a little battered, and I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes me wonder, like when we access our higher self, why does he feel like he's trying to like cover himself in protective gear? And over here we've got a boxing glove. So it makes me think like, what is she fighting? What are the experiences that she's having? And also, what is she protecting? This baby flipped over speaks to this idea of, I kind of get a feeling that this is how you see yourself. Is this baby like as vulnerable, or that you need to be protected? Not that it's a bad thing. That babies to me can represent like blessings and goodness, purity, sweetness, all of that sort of stuff. I feel like we're hiding this away because maybe we've been hurt in the past when we've gone out there and connected to that higher self or that higher intuition. We've maybe had to fight for what we know to be true in other situations, and we've possibly been, you know, maybe hurt in the process when it should have been, in a way, kind of like, I feel like it should have been fun and all fun and games, but maybe it wasn't for you. And so I feel like that might be the message that you're carrying. And then in having experienced that, we then have to hide ourselves away or protect ourselves like we are a baby. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let's see what this says. This says everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. This is down in what I would consider to be the subconscious area of your reading. I like that it's down here, and I like what it's saying. To me, it feels like whatever's going on here, whatever this relationship is that you're trying to acquire or work on or build with your higher self so that you can make better decisions, you're working on it, right? This is saying it's not the end yet. If everything's not okay, it's not, what is it? Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. So, meaning you're gonna figure this one out is kind of the vibe that I get from this. We just need to figure that out in our subconscious mind and bring that up. I kind of feel like with this guy, and both of these guys are sporting next to chakras, which I think is interesting too. They're very similar patterns here. How do we view ourselves in our world? Do we see ourselves as protected, secure, and stable, or do we see ourselves as vulnerable, susceptible to being potentially harmed? Or like, if we have access to that higher self and that awareness, do we have to fight for it? Do we have to defend against it? All of that, or defend for it, that sort of a thing. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this whole grouping of charms here. Then let's see what this is, because this would be in the higher mind. This is the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is usually about collaboration. It is inverted, so I don't think that it's that bad, but I feel like this all stems from experiences you've had with outside people. Like, I want to say that is it possible that maybe you've given your awareness or your, how do I want to say this? I want to be careful how I say this. Is it possible that you have taken other people's information or opinions over your own higher knowledge in the past, and that has maybe caused you harm, upset. When you've tried to stand in your own truth, you've maybe had to fight for it, or you've been, taking a few hits for it in a way. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. And I feel like this sitting up in the higher mind speaks to the memory of that. That's why it's flipped over. Hence the memory aspect is like, okay, when I've collaborated in the past, when I've maybe allowed others in to see that more vulnerable aspect of me or to see my higher knowledge, I've been shot down. I've been maybe invalidated or told, oh, you know what, that's not right, that's not true. And in doing that, you've kind of learned to maybe protect it, put it away, hide it. And not disconnect from it. You still appreciate it, you still care for it, you still love it, like a mother would love a baby, right? But you're not necessarily ready to sort of go out on a date with it. Well, to me, the two and the ring speak otherwise. The ring, when I put this in here, to me, I've in other readings when it's come up, it usually is like kind of like this black heart, which is sort of like this punk rock kind of love, right? This living on the edge, not giving a shit about societal norms kind of love. And what I like about this is I feel like this is sort of you kind of being more vocal in the present moment or more in love with who you are, what you offer, and what you represent, regardless of what others think. Fuck them is kind of this ring. That's my feeling. And so I kind of feel like that might be the very energy that you need to trust and access your higher power. I feel like you may even have access to your higher power. That the fact that like the third chakra and the sixth are both sitting upright. And again, we've got 3 and 6. We've got 2 sporting event charms, both next to one another. Both chakras are upright. They're all surrounding the delicacy of this baby. So I feel like you can trust yourself. And if there is anywhere where you're second guessing or doubting yourself because of what other people say, well, again, I'm going to go back to the wisdom of this ring and say, fuck them. Because there's something to be said for what you know to be true. And there's a strength in that. And I think, honestly, people may have been intimidated by that in the past. And that's maybe why you've had to struggle with them or defend or fight for it. You've maybe even, this is a catcher, you've maybe even caught some shit for it in the past. And to me, these are upright and clear. And I love that this is 3 and 6, right? 3 and 6, and then the 2 sporting, they're very much in alignment with each other. It's like when we know what we're doing right, from like in the physical world, I almost want to say, or our opinions, they maybe haven't always been popular with others, that we maybe suffered for that, but like our intuition lines up with that too. That's my feeling with this. And I think that this being in the higher mind speaks to the memory of maybe people naysaying you or denying you, and you maybe because you're a kind person have kind of given their opinions more precedence than your own, just so as to not rock the boat, to not wake the baby, to not like set off a problem with maybe the people that you love or care about around you. And that's something that I think is about to change if it isn't already changing. Because this ring speaks to the idea of that changing in the now. The 2 speaks to the idea of the sort of theme of that. These upright chakras speak to me and say that like you need to trust what you know to be true and just act on it. Don't worry about what other people say, do, or any sort of conflict or diversion that they put in your space. It only, how do I want to say that? Oh, my dog's snoring really loud again. It only diverts you as much as you allow it to, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. And again, if everything is okay in the end, if it's not okay, it's not the end. It's not letting you in, Trisha? Okay, I will send you the reading, Vicky. I'll do it the next day or 2. I've got a couple more things I need to get taken care of. I'm going to do Lisa's chakra thing tomorrow. If I don't get it done, I have to do the Patreon videos tomorrow. So maybe by Tuesday. And I know that I have a reading tomorrow at 5 for another, or 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock her time. So I've got some stuff going tomorrow, so probably on Tuesday I'll send you the card reading from the email. I hope that makes sense. Does that resonate with you at all, Vicky? So you tap on the link tree, Trisha, and it should take you to the PayPal link, dear. Really? Actions, report, or blog? You might need to copy it and put it in your browser. I'm not sure, dear, because it's working for me, but I'm also in a different, I'm not on YouTube. I'm broadcasting to YouTube through a third-party broadcaster, so it may not work on YouTube. I'm not sure. That's weird. So you might have to copy it or type it in. Thank you. You're welcome, Vicky. I really appreciate it. Now that I know that that's you, I have no clue. Such a ding dong. Oh God. Okay. Let me know, Trisha, if you got it. If not, we can always figure it out. I can either email it to you or whatever, and then we can do it next Sunday. Because I'm going to get ready to wrap up here in a moment if you can't get it figured out. Because I need to go sort out my dinner. My dog is like just passed out. He's been the one that he's so sleepy and he's farty too. It's just, he's driving me nuts. He's a good boy though. He's so sweet. He's my old bulldog. He sleeps all day long. He's such a baby. Are you there, Trisha? Trisha? We're kinda waiting on you, dear. And if you can't get it, we can always try and figure it out for next Sunday. It's up to you. Just subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. That way you'll get notified when I go on live. That's weird though. I didn't know that my link didn't work on YouTube. It's no bueno. I love when he snores and the volume meter goes up on the screen. It's so funny to me. Alright, so dead air is like the death of most YouTube channels. Trisha, are you there? Hello? Is anybody there? What's the matter, Spenny? Am I sitting on you? Oh, I'm sorry. The cat, like, his newest thing is to climb into my chair when I get out of it. Probably because it's warm. But he's always, every time I walk into the other room and then come back in here, like after shooting a video, he's like squatting in my chair, like laying down, like, oh, passed out. It's like, no, cat. There's another chair right across the table. But it always sits in mine. Oh. Okay, I'm assuming. Trisha, are you there? Because if you're having trouble, then we can sort it out next week if you want. I'm not sure if she's trying. I just don't want to sign off and then have her money come into my PayPal account. It did work for you, New Moon? Okay. It might be something wrong with her end or something, I don't know. Because I've never had anybody from YouTube say that it doesn't work, so that's sort of interesting to me. So it might be her computer or something, I don't know. So my thing is that I just don't want her to send payment. I want her to respond and tell me she's not going to send payment before I shut off, because I don't want to like receive payment and then shut off on her. That's like kind of lame. So I want to make sure that she's not in the process of sending payment. But she may have left, I don't know. There's only 4 of you watching at this point as far as I can tell, so I don't know who's all still here and who's not. Trisha? Are you there? Trisha! Oh, there she is. Dan, Kevy, got the link, but I don't know the currency. Okay, so what we're gonna do, the PayPal should offer currency transfer, like it should be fine. I'm in US dollars. Hey Ivana, how are you? I'm gonna sign off, dear. So like if you join me next Sunday, just subscribe to the channel and hit so that you get all notifications, hit the bell, and that way you get notified when I go live again. I don't know if she's still trying to pay me or not. Okay, she will do that, thanks. Okay, awesome, Trisha. That way it's like we're not rushed and you get a good reading and it's not like a fly-by-night like where you're like, oh my god, let me get you the money, you know? So I'm gonna just go, because I've been on for a little while now, so I'm just gonna sign off and go make some dinner. And I will see you guys probably next Sunday. If I'm on, if you get notified, if you hit the notifications bell, you'll be notified when I go live. Because sometimes I come on and I do coin tossing and free cards and things like that, just live on YouTube too. So, and if at any point in time when I'm doing that, you want to buy a Charming, you can certainly jump on and say, hey, can I get the Charming now? It doesn't have to be on a Sunday. So just keep an eye out for me that way. And then that way you can get it whenever I'm on. I don't mind if it's a Sunday or not, it doesn't matter to me. But it's just, if you haven't got it sorted out right now, I don't want you to pay me and then I've signed off. That's the only thing. So wait until I'm on again and sign on and we'll get you a Charming then, okay? Thank you everybody who bought Charmings. Go check out the forecasts on the channel. You know, leave me questions, comments. Give me a thumbs up on any videos that you enjoy. Those greatly help my YouTube algorithm so that my videos get pushed out to other viewers on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my subscriptions and it's you know, it's work. So every little like, every little thumbs up helps if you are enjoying the videos. So, because then YouTube thinks it's content that's enjoyable and then they show it to other people in their feeds. And then other people subscribe, and that's how it works. So please message me tomorrow, yes, and I will talk to you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the forecast. We have one more day of the old deck, and then the new deck starts on the 1st. All right? So have a great day, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.